The final score, Cardiff Met 1, Wrexham 1, and a tough result to take. It makes finishing in the top half of the table now when the league splits very difficult indeed. We're going to have to win our last 3 games. Swansea are going to have to lose theirs. They have a tough run in, and the last game is us against them, but it's asking a lot now. But anyway, this was a huge disappointment, of course, because Cardiff Met are bottom of the league. Thus far this season in all competitions, they've played 14 matches, drawn 1, lost 13, and they'd lost the last 9 in a row. Let's be honest, this is a team we need to beat. And to be fair to them, they don't play like that record suggests. They're a bit more competitive than that, to be fair. And they did defend superbly in this match, sometimes desperately, but they held on really well for what for them was a real morale-boosting result. But we had, as we've had so many times this season, a good grip on the game, made a lot of chances, but didn't score enough, in all honesty. And it's a shame. I have an awful lot of sympathy for the team and the coaching staff, because again, it's been consistent this season. We did things right. You felt, okay, if you just watch the performance, you're happy with it. But the result just didn't come at the end of it, and that's tough. I mean, the only thing you can say is we just need to keep going, keep doing the right things, and just eventually it will start to reward us. But huge frustration this. I mean, we were on top from the start. Our midfield had control of the game. Liv Fuller dropped back into the centre of defence, which maybe just restricted our passing range in midfield. I mean, because she's such a good user of the ball. And we were, as a result of that, we were on top of things. Maybe didn't quite get our tempo going massively in the first half. Maybe didn't quite get the intensity going, but we were in control and we did make chances. Lily Jones, I thought, was excellent in the first half. She was everywhere and trying to make everything happen. She had the first decent shot of the match, a good strike from the edge of the box. She just whistled past the post. 20th minute, a corner from her caused a crazy scramble in the goal mouth, right under the bar. How nobody was able to quite force the ball in, I'm not sure, but it just wouldn't go in. And we continue to be frustrated when, again, from a set piece, again, Lily Jones striking a free kick, which beat the keeper and hit the post and bounced away to safety. So well on top, making chances, looking good, but that ball will not go in. And then, of course, first attack Cardiff Met had for quite a while, free kick in midfield. Dzimovic had already had to come on as a substitute, and she strikes the ball really well. Free kick on the halfway line, she drives it nicely into the danger area, and Natalie Clark didn't get a shout, had to commit to it, got ahead to it, and could only head it into her own goal. It's a shame, bit of miscommunication at the back, and Clark didn't have really any real option. She couldn't leave it. And Cardiff Met, massively against run of play, had got themselves the lead, and having that to get their teeth into, the defending intensity increased. There was a loose ball on the edge of the area, which again Lily Jones did well to attack and get to first, and she hit a snapshot. The ball was just rising at an awkward angle, and she did well to try and control it, but couldn't quite put it on target. It went just past the right post. Then she again involved on the left-hand side, whipping a devilish ball into the goalmouth. Pritchard made a great run down the right-hand side and just couldn't reach it at close range. The final chance of the half came in added time. A cross coming in. Defender misheaded it, and that is the key thing here, because Rosie Hughes is lurking on the edge of the 6-yard box. It still comes through to her, and she volleys it too straight. The keeper saves it. That defender getting a little nick on it just shifted it at the last moment and meant that Hughes didn't get the contact that she was looking for, which was really harsh on her. So 1-0 down at half-time in a game we had to win. We had to react, and so Abby Iddington came on for Rebecca Pritchard at half-time. And our intensity increased, our pace increased in our attacking. That change meant Cara Jones went over onto the right. Of course, she was terrific when she shifted to wing back against Swansea a week earlier. And again, she had a superb second half. Lily Jones, all about her in the first half, all about Cara Jones in the second half. Because Cara Jones just started making and chances and having pops at goal. First time on the right-hand side, did really well to win the ball, then drove in on the diagonal, beat another player, got to the edge of the area and drove a fierce shot. And the keeper, Courtney Smith, did well to get down low to her right and tip the ball around the post. A couple of minutes later, Wrexham with a free kick in the shooting position. This time it's Liv Fuller who tries it, and it goes just over the bar. Before Nat Clark, who now is really starting to get forwards, and finds Cara Jones with a constant flow of service, works it down the flank. Jones again, hairs down, giving us width, drives the ball into the goal mouth. Iddenden at the near post, just short of reaching at a close range, and Rosie Hughes behind her again, just couldn't quite reach it. Such frustration. That was an example of us getting bodies in the box, though, and there was a bit of a danger in this early period, the first 20 minutes of the second half, we weren't maybe getting enough bodies in the box. Cara Jones was delivering constantly, but Iddenden's game is often as a second striker trying to drop off and make the play. Hughes was dropping off or dropping wide. So they were both having good all-round games, but we maybe weren't getting enough players into the actual penalty area when the ball was coming in. And I think partly to address that, we made a double change in the 64th minute. Ava Suckley coming on for Rosie Hughes and Karen Allen coming on for Mary Gibbard, which allowed us to push Liv Fuller up into midfield. And we started getting bodies in the box. We started looking more threatening again. There was an opportunity soon afterwards, Fuller putting a free kick in, Lily Jones touching it on, and Karen Allen attacking it about 10 yards out at the far post. Just couldn't, on the stretch, get a proper contact and miss it wide. But in the 68th minute, we equalised with a really nice goal. It was a good move. Brooke Cairns driving through the middle of the pitch, taking on players, breaking through the lines, then laid it off. Suckley popped it quickly back to Fuller, who switched across to the right-hand side, and Clark drove a good ball into the box from deep. Cairns had continued her run and got there 6 yards out, had to bring it down back to goal, but pivoted and dug out a really nice finish, just lifting it over the hands of the keeper and into the top right corner. Nice piece of finishing, good ball in by Clark, but it was a nice little bit of recirculation while Cairns was making her run into the box. And we were level. And at that point, halfway through the second half, you think, okay, this has been stressful, but we'll be all right here. We've got a quarter of the game now to score, and we're well on top. But although we started working the keeper, Lily Jones had a good drive from the outside the box, Cairns likewise, we weren't making chances for the next 10 minutes or so in the area. It was a shame. That was the point where they were there. We'd broken through and we could maybe really drive in now and take advantage. They managed to regroup, Cardiff Met. They also killed the pace of the game really, really effectively. Smith, the goalkeeper, went down 3 times for treatment. Other players went down for treatment. And it did slow things down a lot. And as you'll hear afterwards, this became an issue for us at the end. But in the last 10 minutes, again, knowing that this is it now, we really started to get that intensity up again. Iddenden dropping off and working Cara Jones in on the right, and she cut in and hit another stinging shot. Good save by Courtney Smith to drop down and just about push it round the post. The corner came in, bobbling around on the edge, a terrific crowd on the edge of the box. Iddenden trying to back to goal, hold the ball up with players swarming around her and trying to find the space to do something with her. In the end, laid it back to Cara Jones. She drove in a shot, was blocked, bounced back out to Karen Allen. She hit a shot, that was blocked and the ball ricocheted clear. But Wrexham was straight back into it, Lightfoot with a great ball down the right-hand side to pick out Fuller, who whipped in an early cross. Another one of the Cardiff Met substitutes, Sally Grimm, went to attack it up against Suckley. Grimm gets there first, there's a ricochet and it hits her arm. Her arm held up in what the rule books talk about an unnatural position way over her head. Wrexham were all up for the penalty. The ref's right there, doesn't give it. Now, I need to be fair and give context on this. We have one camera set up at this game, so I've only got the one angle to see it, and it's not the best. It's certainly looks like it's a penalty from my perspective, and having looked back on the video again, because Grim's arm is right up there, it hits her hand in a way which it's got to be a penalty, unless it was bouncing up off her body, and you can't really tell that from that angle. So I think if it just ricocheted off her body and hit her arm, I would say no penalty, because you can't react in time to that. If it didn't, and like I said, it's so hard, I can't tell. I really can't tell looking at the video. If it didn't, then that's a major mistake by the referee. That's all I can say about it, really. We're into the last 10 minutes now. Wrexham keep going. 7 minutes from the end. A massive, massive moment. Big chance. This time it's Fuller driving through the middle of the pitch. The ball won't behave properly. And she keeps working hard to tame it. She does so. Helps it onto Clark, who again, early ball down the line, get Cara Jones into the game. She whips an across to the near post. Indon is there. She manages to drop blindside of Jeminovic. But Jeminovic unsights her. So it hits Indon 6 yards out, ricochets, hits Jeminovic, who's standing about a yard away from her, and drops really nicely for Indon, who, very similar spot and situation to Brooke Cairns, is going to have to hit a snapshot at the moment it unexpectedly bounces back at her, and she gets under it and puts her over the bar. Oh, man, I mean, it's a real chance, but it is one where you've just got to instinctively go for it. There's no chance to think about anything, and the chance is gone. 5 minutes left. Cardiff Met, just reminding us, had a little breakaway themselves. Becca Thomas, who worked so hard up front. She really, really did. Managing to drive forwards and get a shot off. She got a good sight of goal from the edge of the area, but she drove it much too close to Craven, who saved it comfortably. And moments later, Craven looking to create, knocking a long ball over the top. Suckley sprinting through the middle. The keeper, Courtney Smith, who, like I said, had had 3 bouts of treatment and wasn't moving around all that well, is running out of her box to try and beat Suckley to it. She's not moving freely, but she just has enough of a head start to get there first and clear it away from Suckley. And there's one more chance for Wrexham. The closing moments. A short corner is worked back to the edge of the area. Lily Jones squares it. Cara Jones drills in a cross shot from outside the box. And it's a good piece of goalkeeping by Smith, who has to go full stretch to her right. There are 4 Wrexham players attacking that area of the pitch, looking for a rebound off the keeper. But good hands, she hangs on to it. And the game ends. The referee only adding 4 minutes on, which is a big issue. I've got to say, we were really pushing hard in added time. I felt 8 was a minimum, because there were a lot of stoppages in the second half. Like I said, their goalkeeper went down for 3 different spells of treatment. I've had a quick look through the footage. I must admit, I've not had time to properly. I've spotted 2 of those spells. They come to 3 minutes 17 seconds. Also, a Cardiff Met midfielder got treatment for 1 minute 26. And there were 2 points where the referee stopped the second half of 40 seconds and 38 seconds to check if a player was okay. So that in total is over 6 minutes. And then also, I've got to say, Jeminovic, like I said, strikes the ball very cleanly. And I think Cardiff Met were quite cute. They used that to their advantage. She started taking goal kicks. Okay, maybe Smith was hurt. But I just looked at some random goal kicks in that second half. 34 seconds, 33 seconds, 30 seconds, 35 seconds. That's just 4 random ones. So in total, just those stoppages, like I said, I didn't go through it exhaustively. That's over 8 minutes, 8 minutes, 9 seconds. We should have had more time. I mean, please don't get me wrong. We had 90 minutes to score more than 1 goal and didn't manage to, so okay, I accept that. But it was really galling when clearly there had to be much more time added on, but there wasn't. But anyway, I digress. Fact is, game ended 1-1. I do want to say, again, credit to Cardiff Met, who didn't crack when they let in the equaliser. They looked like they were going to. Just for a moment, there were a couple of scratchy, hurried clearances on the edge of the box, but they didn't crack, and fair play to them for that. Not that we want to acknowledge that, but they worked extremely hard, and yeah, 2nd point of the season. Fair play to them. Frustrating for us, though. We were, again, like I said, the performance... you can pick holes if you want to, but essentially it was a good performance, but only the 1 goal. Story of our season. Looking through the individual performances, Lizzie Craven, could have given a shout for that first goal, the free kick. But I've got to say, speaking as an ex-goalie myself, the key thing is if you think, oh, maybe I should have done something differently, you've got to move on and play the rest of the game with a clear head. But she did really well. Early in the second half, there was a really nasty cross that came in beyond the far post. She made a lot of ground up and great hands to commit and win it. It was an excellent piece of goalkeeping. And she made, like you said, that save from the straight shot by Thomas as well. Good distribution as well, and she nearly set up a goal for Suckley near the end. So yeah, well done, bouncing back from a sort of awkward concession of a goal. The three centre backs, well, we had Phoebe Davis doing her trademark tackling, some great challenges. She used the ball well, coming forwards too. Didn't have that much to do defensively. I'm probably not going to say a lot about defending. Likewise, Fuller didn't have a huge amount to do in defence. She moved the ball around well, of course, from the back, but it's better, I think, for the team to have her in the middle of the pitch, if I'm honest, just to be... her range of passing is so good. And Nat Clark on the right also, especially in the second half, really getting forwards and trying to link play up. Got an assist, of course, for Cairns' goal. On the flanks, but Rebecca Pritchard runs off at half time, but I've got to say I thought she played well. I think it was more of a tactical thing, but she did well. She beat her opposite number, Garton, on a number of occasions. She got a fair bit of supply in, and she built up well as well, and worked hard getting the ball back. So it was actually a good performance by her. But as you see when I come to some of the other players who come off, a lot of it was tactical, I think, just to try and shift the balance and take more chances than comments on performances. On the left, Amber Eifert did well. She was coming inside, looking threatening, getting into nice positions. We got a lot more in from the right side than the left, but she was linking play up nicely. In centre mid, Mary Gibbard was playing as more the holding midfielder, having been, before Christmas, shown her versatility, playing so well, playing off the strikers. I thought she had a good performance. Came off just after the hour, again, because we needed to get Fuller on there to be moving the ball around, carrying the ball around forwards. But I thought Gibbard won a lot of possession in midfield. She was important in us trying to get our tempo going, breaking the ball, moves up when Cardiff tried to bring the ball down the midfield and getting us started. So I thought she put in a good performance. Brooke Cairns was really good again, scored the goal. I say she's threatening when she's coming forwards, and she's so composed on the ball. Her touch is so good, and a lot of good things come from her ability to hold the ball up and pick the right pass at the right time. And she was good. She had a good threat on her, scored that goal, and put in a good performance. Lily Jones again, terrific, massively influential in the first half, and kept working hard in the second. Maybe covering a little bit more, especially after Fuller had gone into midfield. But again, a really good all-round performance by Lily. She got so many shots off. She looked very threatening. Put some good set pieces in. And just she makes so many runs. She makes so many rotations possible by running into space and allowing other players to drop into her space. She again, a really good, strong all-round performance. Up front, Rosie Hughes, it just wasn't dropping for her. And she was dropping off and she was linking play well as she does. But the only chance she had really was that volley she had when the ball took a deflection right in front of her, so she couldn't get a proper contact. It was a real shame for her. Cara Jones up front. She started up front, and in the first half she had her moments, but she wasn't quite getting into those positions. She wasn't getting on the end of things. When she switched to wing back again, just like a week before, whoa, she was terrific, absolutely terrific in terms of delivery, in terms of threat on goal. She was genuinely fantastic. Player of the match, it's going to be between the Joneses. I think I'm edging Lily, but Cara was impressive as well, but I think I'd go Lily Jones on balance. The subs that came on, again, Alan ended up more trying to get forwards and defending because that was the nature of the game, and she'd have that little half chance. It wasn't easy though. Suckley, well, her directness is good in that sort of situation. She's getting in the area. Again, bringing threat, couldn't quite make a decisive difference. Abby Iddenden came on at half-time. It's good to see her getting back into the swing of things after injury, and again, her creative play is so good. What a shame she just couldn't keep that snapshot down. Oh, and as well, just to mention as well, On the bench, alongside Aaron Lovett, the other unused substitute, was Sophie Nash, the youth team's goalkeeper, who's getting her first experience of first team action. So good stuff for her as well to get that opportunity. But ultimately, yeah, what a shame. We just couldn't get things quite to drop our way. What a pity that is. And so now the odds are against us. You never know. Like I said, you can still build pressure, but Swansea impressively won 3-0 at Aberystwyth while we were unable to take advantage of Cardiff Met's poor form. And yeah, it's looking tough now. Still, keep the faith, and we're still in the Welsh Cup. That game against Swansea City in the quarterfinals looks even bigger than ever now. Never mind. We keep going. With the final score of Cardiff Met 1, Wrexham 1, I'm Mark Griffiths from Wrexham AFC.